So we got the Integra on the dyno, I mean rolling trash can, excuse me, on the dyno here, and unfortunately it's strapped backwards like they always are because it's wrong wheel drive. So what I'm going to do is just get it calibrated for the dyno, even though I can't see the dyno from here. So what I'm going to try to do, and the best part is that the gauge cluster doesn't work. So let's give that the whole left tap there. Yep, gauge cluster doesn't work. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and try to calibrate it without being able to see the dyno computer or the gauge cluster or my enthusiasm. All right, I'm armed with a new keyboard that I stole from my wife. So I'm probably gonna get a bunch of shit for this when she finds out that I took it, but work needs to be done. So here we are. So now we're gonna go ahead and try to actually get this synced in terms of the dyno rollers. This is why I hate front wheel drive cars, because I know I keep crying about it, but I can't see the damn dyno. So I had to use my phone to simulate the screen here so I could do this steady state tuning on this car. Okay, and then all of a sudden the screen decides that it wants to cut off. Okay, yeah, all right. So I can already feel myself getting extremely frustrated because that obviously was not steady state. All right, so we actually hit our over temp limit here. I was able to get quite a bit of pulls in. So we're gonna go ahead and just let it calm down. Of course, the heater control stuff is all disconnected, so I can't turn the heat on. So there's that. But IATs are spiking a bit, so we're gonna go ahead and let the car cool down and take a quick break. And what I'm going to do is, in the meantime, I'm going to sit down and massage the tables here that we have. VTEC is in fact turned off as well at the moment. And the reason why we have VTEC turned off is because that we don't want to add any more variables that we don't need at the moment. So what we're going to tuning's going decently well. We actually just had our first kind of failure and we threw a map code, but that was actually an easy fix. This just wasn't clamped on all the way. But we've got as you guys saw, we've got quite a few runs into it and it's not really making any real power. I mean, I guess it is a Honda, but it's a 131 right now. We're gonna let it cool down and kind of give it a once over. I'm gonna take a break as well too. And okay, so we got we're gonna do our second pass. We've added a little bit of timing. I don't think there's really any more to be had in terms of gains though. So we're gonna do another test hit here and see if we make any like really good power. Right now 130 I think is pretty good for where it's at. But let's see if there's any more to be had. So it made a little bit more power, about 5 or 6 horsepower. I don't know if that's really worth adding 2 degrees of timing, but we're gonna do it anyways. so I'm gonna stop this log. We're gonna add 2 more degrees of timing and see if it actually really nets any more power, and then go from there. Timing is actually already pretty aggressive in my opinion, so I just don't really foresee it really making any more. I think that power gain is probably just from the car cooling down more so than anything. Okay, power is basically the same, so pretty negligible. So I'm going to pull the timing back out of it just because that I don't really feel that it's really doing anything here. So I think, unfortunately, I think that's really about it in terms of this car. We're gonna go ahead and finish up his flex fuel tune though. Alright, so we're going to pump out some fuel here in a second. And once we get all the fuel out, then at that point we'll get some ethanol. So let's go ahead and get this going. I have no idea. I have no idea how much fuel was in it. The Integra's been running for like literally a few hours now. We put 1 gallon of E85 in it, like maybe not even a whole gallon, but it's been running and idling this entire time, and it doesn't have any signs of showing that it's almost out of gas yet, so we're just letting it run. All right, so we came out this morning and we tried to start up the Integra, and the car was completely dead. Not dead battery wise, but it won't start, and that could be just because that it's got a lot of ethanol and it's not set up for ethanol just yet, or it could be the fact that it's actually out of fuel. So we only had like a gallon of ethanol and maybe half a gallon of 93 maybe, and it ran for the rest of the day without stalling. So I'm going to make some adjustments here, and hopefully it's just a hopefully it's an ethanol thing and not like an out of gas thing. And Integra finally ran out of gas. I put whatever, I think 3 or 4 gallons of ethanol in there. I think that's all we've got left anyways. But yeah, it finally ran out of gas. I've got to start it up. It started up perfectly fine, like it does once cars are warmed up, unfortunately. So what's going to happen next is that I'm going to check our ethanol content. We're going to let it run for a few minutes first, and then we're going to check our ethanol content to see where it lands at. Hopefully we're at E70 or better. If we're above E70, I'll go ahead and I'll start tuning it. If we're not, then unfortunately I'm gonna have to grab some more E85, add some more to it, and pray that our ethanol content goes up. So we're gonna let it run for... So we got charge cooling coefficient dialed in already, so that's all working here. We're having an issue with the IAT sensor. Sometimes it reads, sometimes it doesn't, and it's been bouncing all over the place. But the biggest thing that really pissed me the hell off is the fact that I can't see the other monitor, so I went ahead and just grabbed another one from my house and I threw it over there just because I was so pissed off with trying to do it on my phone. So unfortunately you guys aren't going to be able to see that like normal, but we finally got it all set up. We're going to go ahead and finally do our first run on E85, and let's kind of see what it nets, or should I say... All right, so we're mostly done here. I was able to get a couple more degrees of timing into it on E85, and it made a good bit. So this 144 run, this red run, is actually E85, and it picked up 138 to 145, so barely anything. The good news though is that if you look at it overall, you can see that the overall curve has changed. Like, it's raised in every area. The peak power is not anything impressive, but it did make more power, and the graph overall is a lot better. Now, the thing with this car is that we just needed to get it running good. There was really no point to go E85, but the thing is that in the future, we know that he plans to turbo the car. And if we go ahead and do flex fuel now, it'll save him a lot of time and money down the line to be able to do his turbo tune. So that's really the only reason why we did it. There's no other real reason for us to do it. I mean, yeah, it makes a little bit more power, but I don't know if you guys would ever feel a difference of like 7 foot-pounds of torque. I just don't really foresee that being it, but that was the thing. The thing was just to make sure that the car runs nice. It had this problem that we could never figure out with it. It would run really weird and have all these misfires and do all sorts of crazy stuff, but it would never do it if the car was here. It's only when the owner took it. And so I figured if we get it on the dyno and we beat the hell out of it run after run after run, it would eventually rear its head. The entire time after we deleted the sugar, the problem went away. So, you know, we had an added bonus of making a little bit more power, and he's now flex fuel. And so now at this point, there's really nothing else I don't think I can do in terms of it being on the dyno. There's a couple things that we still have to clean up and situate, but nothing that I don't think that requires the dyno anymore. So we're still not done with this car yet. We've got a couple more fixes in line and a couple more mods that we have to do. Most notably is his gauge cluster. He's got the Link aim dash thing that we also need to install. But as far as dyno, I think we're done.